What is going on, everybody? The Gold Seeker 2 Summit is now live on the Crew 2, bringing us a chance to get the Mazda RX-8 Gold Edition again, which is kind of crazy because I really do feel like they will be adding a new car like every season to the game that we saw recently, so maybe the Performante could come back, hopefully, but the RX-8 Gold Edition is pretty awesome, probably one of my favorite vehicles they've ever added into the game, and when this thing was out back then, it was actually at 3,000 for Platinum, so at least we have a better chance of getting this thing now. Then in Silver, we have the Legendary Half Set, which is going to be the second part of the other Scorebreaker set we saw recently, and this is going to be one of the best ones for Rally Raid. Do keep in mind though, 87% really doesn't make a difference on the summits. And then moving over to next week's summit, we have the West Side Cruisin', which is going to have the Fame Magnet boosted in the Platinum Award, which could be a pretty good set to go after. I mean, followers, and I think that's Gold Finder or Lucky, could be pretty good to have for grinding parts and all that indoor followers. And then in the actual summit, a nice little mix of street races and then a live Extreme Series event there, which I have not seen in a while. And then moving over to the last summit before the next update, which is kind of weird to think about, the Stunt Show, which brings us a really interesting looking orange smoke and platinum. And then finally, I think what is way better than the smoke, the Legendary Half Set boosted for the Monster Truck class. I mean, graceful and pure, if I am correct, that will be a really good set to have on the Monster Trucks. Definitely do not want to miss that one. Now moving over to the Gold Seeker 2 Summit, so starting right off here with the Slalom. Now for this one, I ran the Vector V40R because this is literally my favorite boat to use on these. I really do feel like it's better than the 1414 Demon, only because the handling seems a lot more twitchy and a lot better for these slaloms. I really do feel like this would be a better choice. And then moving over to the off-road slalom, I actually ran the Ram 1500 Rebel because for some weird reason, this is the only Rally Raid vehicle I run on these now. I really don't know why. I know the Ducatis and all those will probably be really good, but for some reason, I really like how the Ram drives on these, and I feel like any of the Rally Raid vehicles could probably get a really high score on these slaloms. And then finally, we're going to have an Escape. So for this one, I ended up running an actual Rally Raid vehicle, which probably isn't the best option. You could run a hypercar. I just didn't really feel like trying to do all that crazy off-road driving this time with one of the like Vergueras or something. So I decided to use the Ford F-150 Raptor Enforcer unit, which did a really good job. Now there will be a couple of events in the summit I think that will be pretty frustrating to do. And the first one's going to be the Motocross race. I ran the KTM 450 EXC, which did a good job, but this race is kind of wonky how it's set up, and I do feel like it's going to be kind of weird to do. There's a ton of turns and all that, and the bikes kind of slide a little bit, so this one might be kind of tough. But in the beginning, I think the hardest part was jumping onto the rock and then trying to get over that really annoying turn in the beginning. Now moving down here to the street race where you get to test out the Mazda RX-8 Gold Edition. This is a pretty good way to drive this vehicle and like do a little test drive. I kind of like how they put like one of the events in the summit as the new vehicle and or returning vehicle that was from an old summit into the game where you guys can test this thing out. This car is really good. Do keep in mind it is base level with literally like a base pro settings on it, so the car's not going to handle all that great, and the speed really isn't there. It does around 200 miles an hour, and the biggest tip I can give here is to be careful on that nitrous because this thing eats it up like crazy. Moving over to the Rally Raid race is actually going to be the same one we saw in a summit a long time ago. We had to drive the Raptor with like the UFO in the back and the dually. That summit was pretty fun to do. This is the exact same race in that one, and I noticed using an actual vehicle that's upgraded makes this a lot easier. The F-150 Raptor Enforcer unit completely destroyed this race with no issues at all. I highly recommend trying it. And then moving over to the Mercy Street Race here, I highly recommend being careful on this one with the turns, but besides that, this is a really fun race to do, and these cars are honestly just unmatched. I really do feel like all the Lamborghinis are insanely good. Moving over to the GTO, the Judge race is actually a pretty easy one to do as well. This is going to be a long race. I honestly did not do that great in this one either, and I still got 144,000 points, so I noticed the US Speed Tour races are normally really forgiving on their points, so this one's a pretty easy one to do. And the Pontiac, surprisingly a really good car. Also, big tip, make sure you guys put this thing in automatic if you run manual because the 4 speeds can be kind of annoying to race. And then moving over to the final event here in the summit will be a Rallycross race. We have to run the Delta S4, which honestly isn't that bad of a car depending on the settings you guys run, but we are racing this thing on a motocross track, which kind of makes no sense whatsoever. But depending on how you guys jump, this thing could be really wonky to try to straighten out, and I ran into the pillars way too many times, screwed up on a lot of turns, but try to just keep the car straight when jumping, and you should be good to go. Anyway, let's jump right into the summit. If you guys have any questions at all, let me know in the comments below.